does your understanding of love equate to what love actually is? And let me break it down just a little bit, right? We we've seen Disney movies, right?
Okay.
Aladdin, Shrek, Princess and the Frog, Sleeping Beauty, and we're assuming that what the characters' intentions were and how they came together and stuff, we're thinking that's love. And then here's another version, right? You got the Bible that gives I believe it gives a great foundation of what love is, patient, kind, it doesn't boast and stuff like that. And then you have your parents' perspective of what they tell you what it is. And then you have, everybody else's. And within all that, as we grow up, we kind of, either go with what they say or what we saw, or we kind of come up with something of our own. So, do you think that your understanding equates to what love is, whether dictionary or what we saw, watched? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think we get a lot of uh, what we think love is from like other media and the stuff we watch,
Hmm.
and I think in some ways that's good, in some ways that's bad, because like, you sometimes get the wrong impression and like learn the wrong things uh, from watching like stuff on, so like watching like movies, how movies like show love and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I definitely see that too. Um, even coming down to music, I kind of question on it. But I want to hear everybody
Hmm.
else. Nate, Antoine, Q. What are y'all
I
guys'
thought
thoughts?
I thought of
Go
something
ahead.
weird though. Like,
But
What,
like what?
what's that?
I mean, not weird, but I just thought of it. You know how like you said, Aladdin and Shrek, they teach
Yeah.
us about love,
They
but
do?
In a sense,
yeah, in a
indirectly, a
sense,
little bit. You
right?
know.
But that whole like movie was just an idea, you know, of somebody who most likely didn't really have confidence dealing with women, but
Mm,
because of their status, um, uh, they feel like, with their status and their lack of skills with women, um, that kind of hindered our, younger viewers of watching their films on what love really is. Because if somebody knew exactly how things worked, you know,
mhm,
they wouldn't make a mistake on making other people see it. What's the point?
Mhm.
You get what I'm
mm,
saying? But just
mm.
because we take things off of people's idea and they have a lack of experience in it, uh, we are just blinding ourselves, you know,
Mhm.
based
Yeah.
off of somebody's idea. But
Mhm.
you know,
Do you think media like news, television, books, and like video games have an obligation sh- uh, to um what am I trying to say, to show uh love, show how to like actually love people like correctly, and or not correctly, but like the right way, the like non-toxic ways to love people, or is that like up to
they have an
like the
idea.
viewer?
They have an idea.
Yeah. And before I want to pass it to Antoine and Q too. Like I've always thought it was confusing to me because love is being used so loosely
Hmm.
to
Really?
where, yeah, like I think I think love is getting mixed up with lust.
Hmm.
As you were
In
saying with, with video games and the movies that we watch and such like that. Like in some video games, they got some kissing scenes and whatnot. Like, is that actually love, or are they just in the moment and they're just like, shit, like, you saved me. I want to give you some, like,
Don't forget about
was it
porno.
actually love or so? Like, or it's just, they felt the need to give that person, some some goodies. Like it's just I feel like it's been mixed up, it's been loosely. There is no concrete definition, or even if there is, it's just been tampered around.
Mm,
And so my conclusion for it is just love is just what you make it to be. If if it equates to First Corinthians to where love is kind, patient, and yada yada, then let that be for you because you want to set that foundation and you want it to be consistent. You want it to never ever change in a
mm.
sense. But I really want to hear Antoine and Q's perspective on this because I'm glad they're on the platform and we could hear from not only a woman but just from a couple's perspective too. So yeah.
A couple got to answer.
Mhm.
Leave us out of it. I'm
Oh,
playing.
come on.
No, I'm playing. I almost forgot what the question was.
Does m- does your understanding of love equate to what love is? Does it seem, the same, or is it totally different from what you've learned?
Like what we see from our parents and media and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Parents, media, everything externally.
Mm.
Yes.
Um, my version of love, yeah, it's a lot different from what I see
A
from
lot different.
parents, media, but like at the same time, it's
Hmm.
like it's at certain points where like you can look at it like, damn, this is like that. Like say you're both laying in bed listening to old school R&B. It's going like
Hey.
90s movie or some shit, or like arguing might remind you of some other shit. But like I feel like there can be no real definition of love.
Mm.
It's only what you experience.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is there even a concrete definition?
There is. It's like I think love is what humans the chemical reaction to use to mate, something like that. It's something similar to that.
Yeah. Even to add on as well, because I got my dictionary here. Um, love is deep affection and warm feeling for another, the emotion of sex and romance, strong sexual desire for another. Like, see, look, it says strong sexual desire for another person, but then it's also the same definition for lust. So I'm just like, wait, like, what is it? Is it both? Like, am I loving and lusting you, or like, because people
Lust,
go
lust
go
can
ahead.
never be real love in a way. Like you might think you love someone. Do you really love them? Do you like?
Of the idea of loving.
Yeah,
Right.
Mm. I feel like the lust and love are part of the same thing. At least some of it.
yeah.
That's why they have the
Different
same
parts.
similar
I think,
definitions.
I think you gotta like step back and think about what you love about that person also, you know.
I think you make your own definition of lust and love. Like it's based on your own personal experience, how you feel personally in that specific relationship. Like you can be in love with somebody
Right.
and have lust for somebody else.
Right.
Feeling similar feelings, but it's different. You feel something different with
Right.
a person. So like growing up having as many siblings as I got, like you see what love is and what love isn't. So you make your own definition. So you find love in
I kind
your
of
own
look.
personal experiences. Like you find your own type of love type thing. Find what attracts you. That's like the law of attraction and all that stuff.
I have a question though. Like, why? What is more stronger than the other? Love.
Depends
It
on you.
depends. It depends on you. Depends on the person.
Depends on you, the person, and the situation.
Or what about like
People
compared to
marry you can marry somebody that you don't necessarily love.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Is there bad? Is there a bad definition of love or bad examples of love?
obsession?
Definitely.
Obsession.
Uh, I think that I mean, well, first off, I'm 100% with Q on just what you make of it because that for me is just my best understanding because we live in a big world, right? Overseas, their version of love is probably totally different from the American way, and then down to just different cultures and how people identify themselves, so if there ever was a concrete definition or so, then all of us would have just been wrong. We all would have been doing the wrong thing. But to your question, Nate, if one is stronger than the other, yeah, it really does depend on the person and also their perception as well. They always say environment is king. So how they grow up and going back to, the previous questions, like what they've learned from other people, them probably thinking like, oh, well, just getting to know a person for a few days and then just, screwing around with them, like, okay, maybe that's just love, at first, but it's really just lust. They just probably didn't know what they're doing was the total opposite and such. Or if they're or if there's type of people that deal with somebody that's very lustful, but they're trying to make it seem like it's love. Like, how friends, talk to that one person and they're like, why are you dealing with this person? Like, can't you see they're using like, no, like he or she loves me, like, like we in love or so, but they don't see the actual reality of what's going on because it's subjective, to them. Like it could be stuff like that. So yeah, it just depends. It really does.
I
I think
think I think people mix attraction and lust a lot of times. You can be attracted to certain features about a woman or a man, right?
Mm.
I mean, not that I know of,
Mm.
but um, that attraction, brings you closer to them, right? But I think with lust, um, is that when you're in a relationship with that person, if you're not feeding you that lust, then there's nothing else gonna hold y'all together. Attraction brings, lust is just the barrier. Like that's just all, you know. I mean, that's just all that's fueling you. Because I'm sure, like, if you're not getting your lust fed, you will try to find it somewhere else.
Mm.
That's just facts.
I think there could be healthy relationship without being like too
Committed.
committed. Yeah, like
Mhm.
I think love is like a fighting game.
It is a fighting game. It's
It's like a
war.
fighting game. It's very fighting games usually against like one versus one. There's two
Mhm.
people, and it's very personal. Like you're really up. You're like sitting next to the person, or if you're online, you're like going right at them. You know,
Mm.
just you and the other and your opponent, and one goal. And
Go ahead. Go ahead.
and you're just fighting and duking it out. And you could like hate the person, like what they do. And sometimes they could do like bad stuff and stuff you
Mhm.
hate in the fight, or in this case, the relationship. It may annoy you, but but at the end of the day, when the match is over, you guys are cool, you know, and you move on to the next opponent. Even though like even though it's like real personal and intimate, um, you can still have like a healthy relationship, like move on.
I I have I like that analogy you used about it, but I like looking at love at like in my perspective, I look at love also like in a
Mhm.
spiritual way, like
Mm.
like it's people like leave because lust is just like just a physical part about it, right? And the spiritual, soul tie you have after sleeping with a person, right? But um, in spiritual love is that you guys are working together like against all odds, whatever tactic or
Mhm.
ammo or bullet or attack that the world has thrown at you. Are y'all able to duke it like you like what Tyler said, duke it out and withstand the storm, or are y'all just gonna fall apart? But what I mean about these storms, I mean like jealousy, and jealousy, bitterness, hatred, anger.
Mhm.
Would you let that intoxicate y'all, or do y'all have the power enough to forgive and because love covers all multitudes, of hurts, past hurts, stuff like that. Are you able to
Yeah,
love past those blows? You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, and also too, I think what's very underrated when people talk about love is even the logical aspect of it. Like it's always, emotion and, just feeling, which is not bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, obviously you want to feel like you don't want to just be cold. But what about when it comes to like thinking and just being strategic, for your partner or just for anything that you love about? I think that's a way of showing love. Like I love you enough to tell you the truth because right now, you may not understand why I wanted to close this deal and buy the house or whatever, but maybe down the line, you'll start to understand, or I love you enough to tell you, like, hey, that person's no good because I wasn't feeling them, like they were saying these kind of, things, and I just think they're a bad influence. Like, stuff like that, I just don't see much of it being talked about because it always just deals with just the emotion aspect of it,
Add on a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, ooh. Slither like a snake.
Hey man, snooze you lose, and if you lose, catch up on some sleep. Anyway, um,
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
What?
What's so crazy?
I feel like you're in love with someone,
Mm,
or like you love someone, or have a huge amount of affection or something for them,
mhm,
and like little things they do get you all excited,
mm,
like your love language, say it's physical touch, where they hold,
mhm,
what I'm saying, or the word they say to you. It could
mhm.
They could cook for you, best meal ever.
He's just saying that because I just cooked for him.
Ooh,
Whatever.
Ernesto.
Yeah, it's the little things they do for you.
Suavecito.
It's always.